Got it, I understand exactly what you're asking for. You want a asterisk first person, high emotion George Blackman style narrative asterisk that starts with a asterisk shockwave hook asterisk, tracks through painful rejection, obsessive pursuit, grueling climb, and ends in asterisk asterisk undeniable triumph asterisk with a cathartic return and poetic justice, all PG rated and tied directly to your agricultural innovation premise. Here's your story, crafted to grip a YouTube audience from the very first second. The forgotten harvest. Hook-shattering impact. They didn't just reject my research. They laughed. In front of an auditorium packed with colleagues, one senior professor leaned into the microphone and called my work a fairy tale for gardeners, and the crowd erupted in chuckles. My cheeks burned, my hands trembled, and in that moment, every credential I had ever earned felt like paper catching fire. I stood there gripping my notes, realizing I had been asterisk publicly erased asterisk. But here's the thing, when someone tries to cut you out of the story, you can either vanish or write a new chapter so undeniable they have to read it. Painful departure and relentless pursuit. That night I packed my office into 3 cardboard boxes. No farewell lunch, no polite goodbyes, just the quiet click of the lock behind me. My field was agricultural science, but my obsession was something most of them dismissed as fringe nonsense. Mycorrhizal networks, the underground fungal webs that help plants share nutrients, warn each other of pests, and heal the soil. They told me it wasn't real science. I told myself it was worth my life's work. So I left the academic halls and went to the fields, literally. I rented a small patch of degraded farmland nobody wanted, soil so dead it couldn't grow weeds, and I started experimenting, alone. No grants, no lab assistance, just kneeling in the dirt, studying roots, testing inoculations, tracking every micro change over endless seasons. Arduous ascension and profound triumph. It wasn't romantic. It was relentless. There were seasons when nothing grew, winters where my only companions were frostbitten fingers and stacks of rejected funding proposals, summers when storms flattened entire trials overnight. Each failure was a weight, but it also pushed me deeper into the science, into understanding the quiet genius of the soil's living network. Then, one year, everything shifted. The same barren field burst into a riot of green. Crops grew without fertilizers, without pesticides, stronger, more nutrient-rich than anything I'd ever seen. The fungal networks were alive again, knitting the soil together, feeding the plants, restoring balance. Word spread fast. Farmers came, journalists came, and eventually aid organizations came desperate for solutions to revive failing farmland across the globe. What started as a handful of test plots became hundreds, then thousands, stretching into regions where hunger had been a constant shadow. The techniques fed millions sustainably and without destroying the land. Cathartic return and poetic justice. 5 years after that humiliating dismissal, I stood on a different stage. Same city. Same conference. This time, the auditorium was packed not with skeptics, but with people leaning forward, eager to hear how mycorrhizal science was transforming agriculture. Behind me on the screen were images of deserts turning green, of children eating meals grown in soil once considered dead. When I finished, the applause didn't just fill the room, it felt like it filled the years I'd spent in exile. And as the crowd rose to its feet, I caught sight of that same professor who had called my work a fairy tale. He wasn't laughing now. In fact, he was clapping. I realized in that moment they hadn't just been wrong about the science. They'd been wrong about me, because sometimes the harvest they forgot becomes the one that saves us all. If you'd like, I can also adapt this into a YouTube-ready spoken script asterisk, with pacing cues, emotional beats, and visual suggestions to maximize retention and engagement. That would make it even more powerful for your audience. Do you want me to prepare that next?